So this is about a question that was asked from a student, right? So I thought to release a video so that you know it better. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen with you. This is about the Mody 2, right? That is about the Mody 2, and this is the question. Is saying that there is a young lady, right? 24 years of age, not old, but she is pregnant. That is second trimester of the pregnancy, and she is visiting the gynecologist for the routine examination, and she was tested with the mild hyperglycemia, right? And after what? After OGTT, after the oral glucose tolerance test, it was found that the lady has hyperglycemia more severe than the gestational diabetes, but not severe as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, right? Pregnant ladies was diagnosed suffering from Mody 2. Okay, so that was declared by the doctor. She is suffering from Mody 2, mutation of which gene is responsible for Mody 2, right? So they are asking about hexokinase gene 1, like hexokinase 1 or 2, or glucokinase, or both hexokinase 1 and 2, right? To answer to this is actually the glucokinase. I'm giving you the answer, right? So why I'm saying that, because you can just keep on writing, taking down the notes after you listen to this video. First understand, then you take down the notes. Okay, so Mody is, first of all, no, is an inherited in an autosomal dominant fashion. What do I mean by that? That from one parent it is being inherited, right? And there are 50% of the chances that offspring will inherit it. And which gene is mutated? Mutation is in the GCK gene, okay, which is on the chromosome 7. Usually they don't ask it, but you should be knowing GCK gene is the one, the major culprit for it. And that gene, GCK, G, right, with the G name, right, yaad rakhna, G say is the glucokinase, right? So glucokinase enzyme is deficient. What do we know about this glucokinase enzyme, right? Glucokinase is a sensor molecule for how much glucose is there, let's say, and let's say there is a particular, let's not talk about the number first. There is a particular glucose level. If the glucose level, blood glucose level went beyond that, then it does and knock on the pancreatic beta cells, right? Us par jaake what it's gonna do? It is gonna do knock, knock, knock. Glucose is up there. So what the beta cells will do? They will start releasing the insulin. ठीक है, बहुत सारा glucose हो गया है. We have to entrap. We have to capture that glucose. So insulin will be released. Insulin soldiers hai, wo niklenge, they are going to take the glucose, right? But in this mutation, right, in this, because of the glucokinase mutation, this process is disturbed. That doesn't mean ki insulin release nahi ho raha. That doesn't mean insulin is not going to release. Insulin will be released, but how it is different than the normal diabetes and the Mody difference is, earlier threshold was needed to be, let's say, up to this level to release the insulin. That is a normal process, right? Now the mutation is there, so the threshold, the glucose threshold is increased a little bit higher. So abhi pehle is level pe tha, right? Earlier this level was needed to release the insulin. Now this level is needed to release the insulin, right? Only then insulin will be released. So that is a Mody, right? Insulin secretion is there, right? That what I have written here in these green fonts, in green colored pen, that there is a normal ability in the Mody 2. There is a normal ability to make and secrete insulin, but it is what? It is less responsive. It is less responsive. Earlier it was 5 millimolar, just like insulin is gonna go release, but now it is what? It is 7 to 8 millimolar. What it is 7 to 8 millimolar, or you can say 126 to 144 milligram per deciliter, higher than the normal blood glucose ka hoga, tabhi hi insulin release hoga, right? That is why it is usually asymptomatic, and there is mild increase in the blood sugar level. What it is, there is a mild increase in the blood sugar level and usually asymptomatic hota hai. But when it is being diagnosed, it is Mody 2 is usually diagnosed like accidentally जिसको हम बोलेंगे, or during the pregnancy. During the pregnancy तभी वो कैच होता है, राइट? यूजली नहीं कैच में होता है. एंड ड्यूरिंग दैट ऑल्सो OGTT, oral glucose tolerance test में the number would be less, right? It is not way too high of normal number, but a very comparatively like on a like close by number उसका रहने वाला है, right? As compared to the impaired fasting blood glucose. You should be knowing this, right? Now what we know about the Mody 2, right? If I summarize everything, just look on the left half, right? Mody is because of the GCK mutation हो गया on the chromosome 7. G से stand कर रहा है gene, तो glucokinase is deficient. Glucokinase is what? It is a trigger molecule, right? वो ठक ठक करके pancreatic beta cells को, it tells the pancreatic beta cells to release the insulin. Now there is a mutation, right? So what it does is it is partially impaired. So imagine this way, because of the mutation the glucokinase gets drunk. ठीक है, drunk हो गया है तो the glucokinase is not in complete senses. So until unless glucose level will go higher than the normal level, then like normal level in the means when it is triggering the release of insulin, when it will go higher, it will make release the insulin. Usually asymptomatic hota, but during the pregnancy we detect it, but the number is not very high. It is a smaller number, right? And how do we manage it? Usually with the healthy lifestyle, right? If the diet and the exercise is proper, it is manageable. But it is not manageable beyond like 50, 60. It is not manageable. That point in time, like the normal diabetes to mellitus drugs, the insulin, they don't work. There is this drug, repaglinide, or you can say the Prendin, the same thing, is taken before the meals, right? If the condition worsens, then it should be taken with the insulin also, right? Now there is another like a question which can be asked about this. About what? That the Mody 2, this Mody 2 type, it displays a like complex, there is a during the pregnancy it is happening, no? So maternal or fetal ke kaun se mein, which one is having the mutation? Mom is having the mutation or the baby fetus is having the mutation? That is telling us a lot about the pregnancy, right? Especially fetal size determination, right? They may ask you a question based upon this, how the Mody 2 is with the Mody 2 condition, how we can determine the fetus size. Now, there are 3 scenarios for this, right? When the mother is affected, fetus is not affected. So, right, cross is means not affected, right? When mother is affected, but fetus is not affected, that is one case. Another case is when mother is not affected, but the fetus is affected. And there is third case when both are affected. Then what happens, right? How we determine the fetus size, right? The first case is when the mother is affected and fetus is not affected, right? This is our first case. This is our first case here. Just hang on, bear with me. Okay, so this is our first case when the mother is affected, fetus is not affected. Mother is affected, so what do I mean by that? Mother ka glucose level is gonna go up, but the fetus is normal, right? So you can imagine there is this one piece of a body that is mother's body, right? In the womb, it's like the fetus is there, mother is abnormal, blood glucose is up, but fetus ka theek hai. So fetus will help to compensate the body because still it is inside the body. That will release means then the pancreas of the fetus will produce more insulin to compensate for what mother don't have it. Okay, and that will result in what? That will result in a larger infant size. Larger infant, right? That you should be knowing more of it. You will be studying maybe with the gynecologist, right? When you have the OBGYN class or maybe within the medicine. But since you are in first year, I'm telling you just a little bit extra edge that will help you to understand it better. Now, there is another condition, right? When the mother is not affected. When mother is not affected and the fetus is affected. So mother ka glucose kya hoga? Mother ka glucose is going to be a normal, but the fetal glucose will be disturbed or you can say decreased. then in that case, what will be having? You will be seeing a retarded intrauterine growth. Retarded intrauterine growth. Now, the third condition, when both mother and the fetus, they are affected. So their effect cancels out each other. So that is the best case scenario, that the two defects will offset each other and the fetus size will remain unaffected, right? So there are these three things, right? That mother is affected, fetus is unaffected. Fetus is affected, mother is unaffected. Both are affected, right? This is the thing. Right now, you know the mutation, how it is hampering, how do we manage it, what are the three cases you should have. Right now, there can be like two more extra edge points. If both the GCK genes are affected, until like now, the normal conditions, we say only one gene is affected. Now, if both are affected, in that case, the diabetes, it appears earlier, and there will be severe hypoglycemic condition. Now, if when both genes are affected and they both are homozygous in nature, right, then there will be permanent neonatal diabetes, right? So these are 4-5 questions related to this topic. I hope you understand this. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to explain it in a better way or maybe with more examples. Thank you.